It's a very real threat from two different points of view. Let's take the military one first, though increasingly that's not the one I'm concerned about. As I mentioned, we've known for 40 years that EMP is a byproduct of the detonation of a nuclear weapon. Now, when we were facing off against the Soviets, those of you old enough to recall a dark time when there was something called MAD, mutual assured destruction. In other words, if the Soviets launch missiles at us, we launch back. If they do an EMP strike, we do it back to them. We're in a different world now. Who would have dreamed on 9/10 if somebody had said, you know, I'm worried about terrorists armed with box cutters seizing 4 planes and turning them into guided missiles? It would have seemed crazy, science fiction. Well, EMP I know sounds like science fiction. It's not. A rogue state or even a rogue group, if they can acquire but one nuclear weapon, the actual scenario that a lot of people talk about is 3. Mount them on missiles like Scuds, launch them off of barges off the coast of the United States, pop them 200 miles up, you lay down an electromagnetic pulse blanket that can blow out the entire power grid of the United States. But I mentioned there's something I'm more worried about recently. Only last month, NASA and NOAA put out a report regarding something called the Carrington event. Look it up, Carrington event. Or there's a really great book, actually I think far better written than mine, called The Sun Kings. The author's name is Clark. He's an astronomer. We have to be increasingly concerned about the byproduct of a major solar flare. We're due for one. And in fact, the solar cycle is picking up, NASA and NOAA indicating we might be looking at another peak around 2013. Please don't get this confused with all that Mayan prophecy stuff. I don't believe in it. However, in the last 20 years, we've built a very, very delicate, fascinating infrastructure using microcircuitry and almost everything. If we have a large solar flare, that could blow out the grid as well. In fact, it wouldn't just be an event that hits America. If the flare lasted for 24 hours, it could take out the entire power grid of the world with devastating effect, particularly for emerging countries and third world countries.